over at the Resident, in the meantime, we've got an interesting smattering of news where I think that's where the Dinosaur story is this morning. Let's go back to their front page. Interesting article from Natasha Don, preparing Portugal ahead of the elections, and some quotes from one of the presidential hopefuls, Gouvier Melo, and just a general tone, actually, as we get ready for an election, or several elections. I think there are 3 elections this year, aren't there? Are we having? I think the only one we're not having is the EU election, European representative elections, but presidential and parliamentary and local as well this year. There you go. You see the smattering of news stories over at the Portugal Resident on their brand new site, which I think looks rather good. A minister inaugurating the new Castelromani cycling route. That looks nice. And a gentleman there with a lollipop growing out of his head as well. Excellent stuff. It's only when you get the photos back from the chemist that you realise things like that have happened. And is that where the dinosaur story is? First totally made in Portugal plane presented at a defence fair. What sort of plane that is? That doesn't look like a warplane exactly, does it? Is it a library picture, or is that the actual thing? Interesting. Looks like it might be a plane for dropping paratroopers out of. Faro's first luxury boutique hotel to open by 2027, and a tap story. The tap story that just keeps on giving to this wonderful country. And 4 Portuguese F-16s and 90 personnel in NATO mission in Estonia. And exceptional living. That's what we need to remember to do, is to live exceptionally, folks. A smattering of news from the Portugal Resident. So let's go to the Portugal news then, and the weather front that is coming in. Nuria sounds like Narnia, and it is like living in a meteorological Narnia at the moment, quite frankly. And let's go to the Portugal news then. I'll bring that onto your screen so you can see the new weather warning as rain and snow as well. If you thought to yourself, oh, I've missed the snow up on the Serra da Estrela, you might be able to get another chance to go up there and see what's happening snow-wise here in Portugal. Bit of skiing. You can swim in, probably in this week, you might be able to swim in the sea and then go up to the Serra da Estrela Mountains in the way that other countries like, I think, where was it? It was California, where you can ski and swim in the same day. Is that right? New Zealand, I think you can do things like that. Or was it Australia we were talking about? Anyway, you can do that in Portugal. Let's have a look at this then. This new weather warning here. Hold on a minute. Wrong button. There you go. There's the right button. Coming onto the stage now. Morning to you, T-Duck, as well. Bon dia, alegria, gumpers. Oh, yeah, I want to have a chat with you, T-Duck, about another outside broadcast possibility I've got for this weekend. I'm doing that neurodivergent talk. I'm hosting a talk of 3 great minds this weekend at the Storytellers. That's a free event starting at 4 o'clock, and you might have had your appetite whetted for that yesterday when you tuned in when we were live from the Storytellers. It's not the same, having to make your own tea in the morning is really not the same as having a lovely cup of coffee and a fantastic Storytellers breakfast after the show. But anyway, such is my lot. I'll carry on. No need to feel sorry for me. Coach Turner also in, and Pete. Thank you, Pete. He switched from depression and recession to cherry blossom. Oh, that's nice. Cheers, Pete. Come back to your comments, Peter and Coach Turner, in a moment. Need to tell you about this weather that's coming in. All districts of mainland Portugal will be under a yellow warning on Friday. We've got until tomorrow to enjoy the fabulous grey weather of today, until it gives way to some lashing rain and snow by the sound of it tomorrow. Heavy rain occasionally accompanied by thunderstorms. Woohoo! Due to the effects of the passage of depression, Nuria, according to IPMA. When I were a lad, it was just rain and snow and storms. They didn't have names. Until Saturday, periods of rain or showers. Sorry, Gary, flying into Portugal to do your talk in thunder and rain. Very, very frightening indeed. Until Saturday, periods of rain or showers are expected, sometimes heavy and accompanied by thunderstorms, especially on Friday, explains the Portuguese Institute of the Sea and Atmosphere. That'll be IPMA for you. It always sounds like a Hong Kong-based martial arts expert to me. That's Ip Man, isn't it? Adding to the depression, will position itself at the end of Thursday to the west of the Iberian Peninsula and moving slowly north. This depression is associated with a cold front. No one wants a cold front first thing in the morning or any time of day. And several instability lines that will affect the weather in mainland Portugal, said IPMA in a statement. Until Saturday, weak to moderate southerly winds are also forecast, intensifying to moderate to strong on the coast and in high areas with gusts of up to 70 kilometers per hour from the end of the day on Thursday, and snowfall at the highest, let the snow fall at the highest points of the Serra da Estrela. There you go. Following the forecast of worsening weather conditions, the IPMA issued a yellow warning, and that's also to not eat the yellow snow, as we were talking about earlier this week. Actually, just for the sake of avoidance of any doubt, a yellow warning is not about the snow, okay? Although that is my warning to you, do not eat the yellow snow, along with Frank Zappa, for the 18 districts between 12 midday and 6 p.m. on Friday, due to the sometimes heavy rain accompanied by thunderstorms. The IPMA also placed the districts of Setúbal, Lisboa, Leiria, and Beja under yellow warning between 9 and 9 on Thursday. From 9 this morning, and Faro between 3 a.m. and 9 p.m. due to the forecast of strong sea agitation, with southwest waves measuring 4 to 4.5 meters. So be careful down there in Faro at the moment. What have Temu got for me this morning? I'm hoping that's a cherry stoner. I don't know what that young lady's doing on the right there. And that very interesting looking charger. Don't know what any of these things are. I promise you, I've never looked them up online. Right. Okay. That's the weather warning for you. Nuria coming in. Fiber optics. I was boasting about the broadband or the signal coverage of Portugal yesterday with Gav. It was the men's shed last night. Talked about a bit about disaster planning at the men's shed. Cheerful evening it was. Fiber optics for 50,000 more families. Let's see if the prospects around your area then are improving. If you've got not very good connection to the internet, I wonder if this will help you. More than 50,000 families in Monção, Melgaço, up in the north, Arcos de Valdevez and Ponta de Barça in the district, Ponta de Barca, in the district of Viana do Castelo, will be able to access the state-of-the-art telecoms services by the end of June. So there you go. If you're thinking of moving to the north, but the internet coverage was not good enough, fiber optic coming to parts of Viana do Castelo district then. There you go. Good news for you if you were thinking of up there. And good news for the people who already live there. Now, is this dinosaur story over there as well? There was a new dinosaur discovery. Yes, there it is. Okay, so no volunteers for the DNA database. That sounds funny. Free EU train travel. We need to have a look at that, do we not? The European Commission. EU, 20% tariff, isn't it? And only 10. Hey, isn't that a Brexit benefit? Just saying. I'm just wondering. I know that some of you will respond immediately to that. Probably Peter. But just a 10% tariff on British goods going to the United States, whereas 20% across EU, including Portugal, of course, which I'm told will have effects on the wine industry. But we're good for domestic wine drinkers, as with less of it going to America, there will be better prices on domestic wine sales by the sound of it. That's what I was told. That was a theory that was shared with me. Excuse me one moment. Still a little bit of a cough going on, not as bad as some of the others in this household, however. Has opened applications, the EC, for a new cycle. Sorry, nothing to do with bicycles. I thought we were being given bicycles for a minute by the EU to go with the pink cycle paths that not many people seem to use out in the countryside here. Anyway, which makes almost 36,000 train tickets available under this Discover EU program, available to 18-year-olds. Oh, they all get all the best benefits to 18-year-olds across Europe, with the deadline ending on the 16th. Well, that's no good to us lot here. I don't suppose there's anyone listening this morning who's under 18. And if they are, they probably don't want to be. Anyway, let's go and see if we can find this dinosaur story. And as I say, it's not the discovery of a British foreigner who's been here in the Algarve for ages without registering. This is an actual dinosaur. No, but hold on a minute. A rainbow. I managed to take a fantastic rainbow picture of me and Mrs. M. A double rainbow outside the shop when we came out from some supermarket shopping, a local independent supermarket near us that we love going to Double rainbow outside. It's beautiful. We were able to take a picture of ourselves under the double rainbow. It's lovely. Okay, very quickly then, the no takers for the DNA database. If you've been desperate to give your DNA, you may be able to step in. The DNA database, which is used for criminal investigation and civil identification, well, that would be it, wouldn't it, here in Portugal, where people are a little bit and understandably touchy about their privacy due to the history of the country, I suspect, did not register any volunteers last year. And I mean, who's got time to go into the DNA registry and say, oh, I was just passing. Would you like to swab me? And I think there probably are some weirdos who'd like to offer themselves for that sort of treatment. I wonder what it involves. Is it a scrape of the cheek or something more intrusive than that? So it didn't register any volunteers last year, and there are only 8 volunteer profiles on this list since it was created in 2010. 8 suspects on the DNA. It's like, pick me. No, it's not you. It isn't you, okay? Oh, the data is contained in the report of the DNA Databases Oversight Board. Well, they're not very busy, are they? The DNA Database Oversight Board, with only 8 people on their database since 2010. According to data available through the Ministry of Justice online services, each volunteer must pay to be on there. What's this? The data is contained in the report of the DNA Databases Oversight Board, which was sent to Parliament and which highlights the lack of volunteers on these lists. One of the justifications is the fact that each volunteer has to pay. How are they volunteers if they have to pay? They volunteer to pay, maybe. This is ridiculous. They must pay €408, an amount to which 23% VAT is added. You have to be serious, wouldn't you, to have your DNA registered if you've got to pay about €500. Only minors, as in under 18s, not people who dig for things underground, incapacitated volunteers or relatives of missing persons are exempt from this payment. And maybe all 8 of those are such people. Well, I'm guessing that if you want to get more people on that database, Ministry of Justice, whoever's running that, you might need to give them free fries like they did with vaccinations, or at least a sticker or a badge or something to say, I gave my DNA today. Anyway, let's stay with the Portugal news, shall we? And see where this new dinosaur discovery, it's not, that's a contradiction in terms. It can't really be a new dinosaur, can it? But you get the gist of what's being said here. And thank you, Lennon. What does that mean there? Hugh, Pam, I think it's best to stay in bed on Friday. Yes, I would agree. Put on the Good Morning Portugal show. Let's have some fun tomorrow morning, shall we? And have a bit of a giggle while we hear the rain and snow lashing against our windows. New dinosaur discovery in Portugal. Then a new species of iguanodontian dinosaur, which inhabited Portugal almost 150 million years ago, long before the Brits and Germans came to the Algarve, has been discovered by researchers from the Faculty of Science and Technology of the Universidad Nova, the Nova University. I think of all the many plastic dinosaurs that I've trodden on in the living room and my children's bedrooms, I don't think I've felt the imprint of that one on the bottom of my foot as I've screamed out in agony. No, I don't think that one has gone into the bottom of my foot, as you see on the screen there. In a statement, the higher education institution said that the work involved the collaboration of scientists from the Universidad Nacional de Educación. This is Spanish, isn't it? A distancia, the distance learning, I was going to say museum. That's because I used to work at Natural History Museum, where there are many dinosaurs. The University Distancia in Spain, and that the remarkable discovery represents a significant advance in knowledge about the diversity of dinosaur fauna present in the final part of the Jurassic. It was a surprise, confessed Filippo Maria Rotatori. It's a nice name, isn't it? From GeoBiotech, the Geobiosciences, Geotechnologies and Geoengineering, a research center at Nova, and main author of this study. We believed that the diversity of this group of dinosaurs was already well documented in the Upper Jurassic of Portugal. Now, at this stage, at 8:20, I'm getting a little bit concerned that Ines hasn't joined us yet. So I'm just going to send a message. There are dinosaurs. I think Ines is actually very young, one of the youngest co-presenters or hosts here, guests on Good Morning Portugal. But she will know about the dinosaurs up the road in Salio de Porto, I'm sure, having grown up in this area. Anyway, and this discovery shows that there is still much to learn and that exciting discoveries may still emerge in the near future. Unfortunately, due to the limited material recovered, we cannot yet assign a formal scientific name to this species, he said, quoted in the statement. Well, I'm sure we can help with that this morning. So, what are they waiting for? I wonder. They need to come up with a wider sort of theory today, hypothesis, which is how yes, that word used to come up a lot when I used to watch many dinosaur programs with my children. A hypothesis, but should we just get ahead of this and give them some suggestions? Nothing silly like what do you call a dinosaur with no eyes, a Juthinkisaurus, or one that eats words, a thesaurus. What do we think that dinosaur should be called there? Let's get ahead of this and give some help to Nova University. I'm going to save that. I'm going to share it with you again before the show's. Oh, I can't. It's a webp file, the sort of which can't easily be downloaded. I do it on purpose, to thwart people like me downloading things for their news items on live streams. Anyway, there's the dinosaur that's been recently discovered, a visualization thereof, I suspect. What shall we call it? I wonder. Anyway, there you go. That's the Portugal news this morning. And Ines has joined us behind the scenes. We'll have a chat to her in just a moment. Let's have a quick look at more of your comments then.